Alright, I've had a few people ask me about the drivetrain of the monster truck because some of them just can't get their heads around it. So here's our wall, our diagram of it all so far. You can see the frame and everything like that. Now I've got I made these little jobbies for you. Look, they're like palm cards, but they're parts. So I'm going to call them parts cards. Okay, so first things first, obviously the engine and trans is going to go where the engine and trans is. These aren't to scale, but you'll get a rough idea, alright? Eventually I'll make them bigger and everything like that. So your engine and trans is there. Now, obviously you can't run a drive shaft all the way down to the middle and have it spread because it's 1.3 meters down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the diff out of the rear. So that's the diff. It was originally in the back there doing the wheels. This is going to be in the middle, pointing downwards, alright? For a handbrake assembly, because this thing's going to be parked up, this is a rotor and a caliper. It's not great, but it's there. This is going to bolt onto the rear part of that diff. Alright, so they'll be bolted together. Then there's another diff that's going to go in down the bottom here. Now, between the engine and trans is a drive shaft. That's going to go from the trans to that flange on the diff. Then between the two rear differentials will be another drive shaft. Alright, and then coming off these here will be drive shafts as well to the differentials on the front. Let me get my other part card. Like that. Now you're probably thinking, what, are you just going to brake the thing using the handbrake all the time? No, I'm not. So I'm going to take that caliper there is going to be one of the rear calipers and rotors because it doesn't need to be big, it's only a handbrake assembly. But on the end of these, where the diffs are, I'm going to put the front rotors and calipers there like that. So essentially the engine and trans is going to drive one side of that differential, which is going to be welded. I'm going to weld that diff so it's locked. There's going to be a caliper on the back for the handbrake, and it's going to come down through a drive shaft into the second diff, which too will also be welded, and everything like that. And then it's going to come through drive shafts and onto the diffs. You're probably wondering, why am I putting the brakes where the diffs are and not where the diff, like on the wheel diffs and not on the center diff? Purely for the fact the slop in driveline. I'd rather have it braked at the axles than at the diff, and then that way I'm not going to flog out the uni joints and stuff like that in the drive shafts. So yeah,